Hi, I'm Dawn.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Susan.
And you're watching
Word of Mouth.
You're a monster. Who, me? Mr. Grinch.
Your point?
Your heart's an empty hole.
What heart?
Your brain is full of spiders. You've got garlic in your soul. Mr. Grinch.
Yummy.
I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole.
I saw The Grinch, or How the Grinch Stole Christmas, with 3 7-year-old boys who really loved it.
I grew up in America, so I saw the animated special every year, just like everybody else did. And so I think I pretty much knew the story frontwards and backward.
The Grinch is something I grew up with, and now that my children are 11 and 9, they also enjoy The Grinch.
Dr. Seuss is very much a part of my kids' childhood. And the wonderful thing about Dr. Seuss is you can transpose any of these stories all the time.
The story is there's a Grinch who steals Christmas. And then, he learns that that's not a cool thing to do, and he grows in the process and becomes a better person, or a better Grinch.
The Grinch hates Christmas, doesn't like the Who's, has a heart that's 2 sizes too small, and comes up with a plan to steal into Whoville in the middle of the night and steal all of their Christmas toys, Christmas ornaments, Christmas food.
He's not very successful. He takes all their presents away and all their food, and he finds out that it's not the commercialism that Christmas is about. It's about love and togetherness.
I recognize the songs that were in the TV Christmas special from years ago, but those were only like 2 or 3 songs. There were a lot of extra songs that were new that they put in.
You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch is iconic and wonderful, and at first Max the dog sings it together with the Grinch, and they do a wonderful job singing it. And then in a reprise, the audience is invited to sing along, which is very fun.
One of a Kind was my favorite number personally. It was the Grinch one-man show, and he got on the stage and he just ranted and raved about how great he was and interacted with the audience. It was hysterical.
One of the things I liked best about this show was that the sets looked like they were right out of a Dr. Seuss book. Like they had been cut and pasted out of any book that he'd written.
The best part about the play was the interaction between the actors and the people in the audience. At one point, the Grinch came and scared the people behind me, and they jumped sky high. It was great, and I loved how the children walked through the aisles, and you really felt part of it.
I really enjoyed Patrick Page. I thought his performance was really good. It was really, it was as good as any Broadway performance I've ever seen. Better than most, actually, and he's really phenomenal. He's really good.
I can't wait to see Patrick Page, the Grinch, without the green stuff. He was wonderful, and his voice is so sonorous.
Cindy Lou Who is just the lovable little girl who breaks through the Grinch's heart, and it's she who makes his heart go from 2 sizes too small to growing 3 sizes all in one night. She was absolutely adorable. I wanted to take her home.
Old Max, played by Ed Dixon, also stood out. I thought he was wonderful. His voice sounded just like you wanted it to sound, and he does a wonderful, "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch."
It was just a feel-good play, and that's what I like to see. I like to sit and be entertained for, it was, I believe, 80 minutes straight. We laughed out loud continuously, and when I wasn't laughing, I found myself smiling ear to ear. I enjoyed watching the smiles on my kids' face as much as I enjoyed the play itself.
I had a great time. I had a great time because my kids so enjoyed it. It's something wonderful that New York parents get to do with their children as we get to take them to Broadway. And I just don't do it often enough.
I mean, it's obviously an important thing to take your kids to the theater and to see shows, especially shows on Broadway. I think that if I were looking for an avenue to introduce kids to theater, I might choose a children's show that was off Broadway, because it's going to be cheaper for one thing, but I mean, you're going to throw $100 on a Broadway show. I think I would pick something different.
Oh, I think it's a great first show for kids. I think it's a great first show for kids. I think the fact that they have a point of reference from having seen Dr. Seuss, read Dr. Seuss, makes it so easy and accessible that even little kids who might not necessarily have the attention span for a movie that they don't know what's coming will love this.
I could tell just watching them. My daughter laughed out loud. She poked me a couple times. My daughter enjoyed it, and I could see the smile on my son's face throughout it.
I think there's a real lack of stuff on Broadway for kids to see, and it's such a wonderful experience for them. They just love it, and anything that you put out for 7-year-olds is going to go over so well.
I don't think I would recommend it to people. I might recommend it to somebody who is a real freak for Dr. Seuss stuff, or somebody who had a real fetish for the Grinch.
I will recommend it to friends with kids as something that's great to watch your kids enjoy.
I have friends who saw it last year that were so excited for me that I was coming this year. I understand there's 2 new numbers. I don't even know which they were. Each song was better than the next. I'm going to tell people who've seen it before to see it again. It was great. Even if you don't have kids, it was great.
Sing me our song.